From where we picked off, we just did the animation pipeline, the process, or what it takes to produce a feature-length animation or animated movie. Now we are moving on. So one of the processes that we don't pay much attention to here in Ghana, I think it's an opportunity for any of us who would like to pick it up. Like, you make billions out of it if you are able to do this. It's called animation merchandising. And it simply means that you are making items that people can buy out of animations. So you can pick a character, you can pick their logo, you can pick anything and then just place it on a bag, on a shoe, on shirts, on hats, just as you can see from the screens or from the slides. So this is what we call or we mean by animation merchandising. Making money after you've previewed or shown your animation on screen. Anyone who can invest in that, I think, to be a very lucrative business. So that's animation merchandising for you. Moving on with our presentation, looking at the principles of animation. And one of the principles we are going to look at today, and then we move on into practicals, is timing and spacing. Everything is governed by principles, and animation is no different. But animation gets its principles from live action, like what we see in everyday life or what we see around us. So if you want to animate anything, that thing may have been existed or have its life in the environment. Okay. So you just look at it and then you apply it to your animation. So one of the principles of animation is timing and spacing. We are going to reference timing and spacing from the animation we did earlier in the morning. So for this animation we did earlier in the morning, let's see if we play it, how long will it take? It takes about a second to complete each cycle. It takes less than a second to complete each cycle. And so that's the time we have for this animation. Let's say a second. So that's the time. And within this time, what happens in the time? See this, these are two balls. And they are all playing, but one is faster than the other. What makes it faster? In its speed. So we can talk about the spacing. Look at the difference between the two balls. I'm going to scroll on the timeline and then look at the spaces between the frames of the balls. See, looking on the board here, this is the time. This is the space between the movement of the red ball. So in every frame, the spacing is a bit different. So I drew a chart to mark the spacing of the red ball. Let me draw a chart to mark the spacing of the blue ball so that we can all see. So the blue ball moves from here, next frame, to here, frame, to here. Then next frame. So by the time the red ball is rising, the blue ball has not even landed yet. As you can see from the animation playing, what I'm doing is I'm clicking the arrow keys. So the arrow key to the right goes forward, and the arrow key to the left goes back to the frame. So that is the timing. The time that I said we had is 1 second. In this 1 second, how fast would you want the balls to move? If there's more frames, if there's more spaces in the frame in each subsequent frame, then it means that there's going to be a faster movement. Let's play and see. So that's the spacing that we got for the blue ball and that of the red ball. You see, they are different. That is why they are moving at different speeds. And let's just finish the spacing for the blue ball. Goes up same way it came. And this shows the property or the characteristics of the material we are trying to do with. Let's say a balloon will fall differently from a normal ball, football. So we could say that maybe this a blue ball is someone trying to bounce a basketball slowly, and the red ball is someone trying to bounce a basketball very fast. The energy you push the red ball down will be different from the energy you use to push the blue balls down. That's how you do your timing and your spacing. The timing and spacing informs the physical property or the force behind any object. Remember, you're trying to mimic nature, and to make your animation believable, you need to apply these principles. So the number one principle we talk about in animation is timing and spacing. They come together, they are like twins. Okay, timing and spacing. So that is timing and spacing for you. Hope you can still hear me. And that is a board example we did earlier in the morning. Right, let's do the same exercise. Now this time around, we are going to animate a walk cycle. This option, I'm going to use my pen. Let's just hide the other layers. We have let's create a new layer. Create a ground plane to view more areas. So this will be my ground layer for my character to work on. Create a new layer for my actual character. I'm going to use a very simple character. Let's bring in our onion skin. Get some frames of into front into at the back. We do, and you just zoom out. Let's have a full screen. As I showed you earlier, move the mouse click and drag to move your working area around. Hold down the shift key and drag to increase or decrease the brush size. Let's move on with our animation. So I'm just going to use a simple stick figure to do a walk cycle. And it usually starts like so. Let me show you what I just did. In relation to the timeline, that's what has appeared. Now with our onion skin on, remember the onion skin can be activated by activating the light bulb in the layer. But this is what we did in the previous frame. This is still here. This that is now in our previous frames. Let's continue with our animation. If the head is too big, let's maintain size of our head. I usually use a sphere to draw my head, or I can just select the head here and reduce the size, deactivate the select tool, go back to the pencil tool. Like a little bit of overlap in our hand swing. Nice. In the next frame, this, I'm just doing a straight ahead something. I don't want to complicate things much. I believe this is the first time some of us are doing an actual animation, so let's keep it simple. I prefer to move a little bit higher. Because in a work cycle, go up a bit because you are stretched. It's fully stretched. This pose, deactivate your selected tools. At point in your work, when your arms start to strain, just reduce the number of onion skin that's behind. And you can make reference to reference materials, like you can have a video playing in the background so you can see what you are doing, or like you can go to school. One of the techniques I mentioned, you can refer to the materials I send to the group. Animator Survival Kit has extensive materials on work cycles. It's amazing. This is our fourth frame. And I told you we have like 24 drawings to go because our frame rate is 24 frames per second. So at this point, our head is beginning to go down a bit. And the body is beginning to lean over. So I use my hip as my starting point or my reference point. This could have taken you years to learn, but with me, do it within 3 days. At this point, we are in a mirror situation from like where we started. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's look at what we had in the fifth frame. So since it's a still figure, you can start mirroring